Hey, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Jet late night video today. I'm here to talk to you about one of my biggest speculative bets going into the next season, and that's Mara Digital Holdings. This is a stock that I have been talking about for a long time on Twitter. Andy Terps and a bunch of other people know that I have literally been buying and selling this stock over the last couple of years. I actually fumbled it big time back like in 2020. I bought like a couple hundred at like $2 to $3, sold it for a slight loss, and then it took off. And let me tell you, I learned from my mistakes. In my opinion, it's probably one of my biggest bets and one of my biggest speculative plays of this year. That being said, welcome to the Brown Jet. Nothing here is financial advice. I'm here doing a video super late night, completely outside of my traditional hours, expecting that many of you will watch after the fact. And hey, if you don't, hey, maybe you miss it, maybe you don't. But what I will say is Mara Digital Holdings is a Bitcoin mining company. So if you're wondering how they do, their price is really tied to the price of Bitcoin. Mara at the high point was like $80 to $90 during the bull run. You can see that here. It was like $76 on November 12th, 2021. And it's the highest point it has ever been. And it corresponds to the peak of Bitcoin. Now, this is in Canadian dollars, so might be a little confusing. It never hit 80,000 US, but Mara, its highest day is the same as the highest day for Bitcoin. And the reason for this is Mara is not just mining Bitcoin, but they're holding Bitcoin on their balance sheet. So at a certain point, it's no longer profitable for Mara to sort of mine Bitcoin. They still do it anyways. And at that point, Mara is sitting like a couple bucks. I'm going to go through the chart in a few seconds, but I just want to sort of cover like the basic concepts here. Now, Mara is probably the biggest Bitcoin miner at this point. There are a couple others. There's CleanSpark, there's Riot, there's Hut 8. I would rather invest in the biggest and the one that I trust the most. I have a little less than $20,000 spread across common shares and leaps. So I'm buying leaps, and I typically don't buy options. Leaps are long-term options, a couple years. The leaps that I have are December 2025 with a strike price of $10, and I have a bunch of shares. I started buying it around like $3 to $4, and I've been averaging up as the price of Mara continues to go up. I have sold a lot of my swing shares, but my fundamental core position of 2,000 Mara shares, around $8 a share, still is holding fast because I'm expecting this to potentially reach new all-time highs in the next 18 to 24 months, corresponding to the Bitcoin cycle that we can expect to see. And then we're starting to see with companies like or institutions like BlackRock coming into the space, and our enemies and Citadel and others launching their own exchanges. It's very clear that the evil corporations, the evil banks and everything, they want to get a piece of crypto. And if you're bullish in crypto, and like let's say you're like you're like a DeFi Kingdoms maxi, or you like just buying altcoins, this is like the stock way of getting exposure into crypto. It's the best way. Like there's going to be a Bitcoin ETF. I'm not really that big a fan of it. Investing into Mara is like incredible. I made so much money this year on Mara because Mara just keeps, it's like the gift that keeps on giving, right? So Mara is a fantastic opportunity. At least that's what I think. Like I said, not financial advice. Do whatever you want to do. But if you look at the price of Mara, Mara was actually, you can just trace it down to Bitcoin, right? Like as the price of Bitcoin goes down, they hold a ton of Bitcoin, so the value of Mara goes down. But also the value of potential production goes down because if Bitcoin never recovered, they're actually incurring a loss to create Bitcoin. That's why you see Mara go down to like, $3.11 back in December 22. But since then, it's rallied like over 300 to 400%. Right now, it's sitting at below 12 bucks, right? And this corresponds to our Bitcoin chart, where Bitcoin was sitting around like $15,000 at the time, and now it's around 30,000, right? Here's actually a very important line. I don't expect Bitcoin to go below $24,750 over the next, I don't know, 18 to 24 months. There's got to be like a crazy like black swan event for this to happen. In that case, I expect us to go all the way to like around $37,000, which is a previous high or local high, but it could potentially come back down, test this here, and come back up. So if it does happen, what you'll see if Bitcoin goes down is the price of Mara will come down with it. So if I'm able to get Mara again in the $8s and the $9 range, I will be loading up even more, because this latest rally and retest is only further indication. And like, so many people are sitting there going, hey, I don't want to really invest, or oh, it's too late. Mara's high point was like $80 to $90 last year, right? I think it closed at 75, but like, it is an incredible stock. And I think that we can go way higher on this. Like I said, this is my thoughts. You got to do what works for you and your risk tolerance. But I'm putting my money where my mouth is, because I believe in Bitcoin. I own Bitcoin. It's sitting on my grid. I'll unplug this so we can show it to you. I have a grid lattice. This is where some of my Bitcoin is sitting. I also have Bitcoin in a ledger, but I also am getting exposure through Marathon Digital Holdings and Mara, and it's nice because I have this in my tax-free savings account, so I can create wealth within my stock portfolio and not just through my capital gains on my cryptocurrencies. So, like I said, super bullish for me on Mara. I'm super bullish on cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. And one of the things I sort of do want to show, where is it? Do I get rid of the picture? No, it's right here. So one of the things that many of you, if you're in the crypto space and you're sort of like, how do I know what to buy? Bitcoin, Ethereum, all of these things. The way you got to look at it is you've got to build confidence in cryptocurrency. And the highest confidence play is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is what Tesla was buying. It's what BlackRock wants to put their hands in. It's sort of like the fundamental piece. It's the safest piece, right? There's like very limited supply, finite. The value of Bitcoin keeps going up. Long term, it's just like a better version of gold, right? It's a better version of gold. It's the predominant number one market cap coin. And I think there's no world where Bitcoin fails and everything else as well. Like, there could be more potential use cases with like faster transactions, etc., and cheaper transactions on other platforms like Cardano or Avalanche or Atom or whatever. But Bitcoin will always remain king. So what happens, right, is like, okay, let's say people believe in cryptocurrency. The first step, people will dump money to Bitcoin because Bitcoin is fundamentally undervalued, right? So as that happens, the price of Bitcoin goes up. It's an equilibrium though, because at a certain point, the flow of money, there's not as many people who want to buy it. Okay, so right now it's at 30,000, right? There are more people who want to buy it at 30,000 than at 40,000. The same is true for 50,000, 60,000, 70,000, 100,000, 200,000. At a certain point, people start going, wait a second, I might be getting a little ahead of myself. Let me sort of wait here and see what happens. When that happens, people go, okay, well, I made a lot of money on Bitcoin. Where can I get my next money from? And then they go to the next best coin. And this is where they flow into Ethereum. So all of a sudden, you stop seeing these inflows into Bitcoin. And now the people who are in Bitcoin are like, well, this is not really moving. I took the elevator all the way up. Let me go to Ethereum. So that's not to say that Bitcoin goes down, but you just start seeing the percentage gains on Ethereum to be way higher than Bitcoin. And as that happens, what does that mean? Everyone who's sitting in Bitcoin goes, why am I settling for 1% to 2%, 3% a day when I'm getting like 8 to 10% on Ethereum? So you start seeing this flow. You see Ethereum start to outperform Bitcoin, right? And then this is what people call the flippening, right? Like they call it some fancy terms, but the reality is it's just psychology, right? I don't know if you ever seen that like episode or that movie Office Space. The guy, the main character's driving, and like he's stuck in traffic. He looks to the side, and the cars will keep moving, right? So what does he do? He jumps into that lane, and all of a sudden the cars in the other lane start moving. Now he was in, right? So this is sort of what that struggle is. You see that struggle between Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? Then what happens is there are some larger cap coins in the ecosystem. So this is where I recommend you go to CoinGecko, and CoinGecko is a really good place to start because if you go to CoinGecko, you can kind of get an idea of like, okay, here are some of the coins that are not, they're worthwhile investments, right? So Bitcoin, Ethereum are obvious. And I'll be honest with you, of my crypto portfolio, I have 80% of my funds in these two coins, right? It's a mix of these two. That's not to say that I don't have like a couple thousand of XRP and Cardano and stuff like that, but the main goal right now for me is to stack as much Bitcoin and Ethereum. This is the like sure slam dunk. Once we see Bitcoin start to sort of lag, I will jump from Bitcoin into Ethereum. And then I'll also use some of those profits to top up stuff like XRP, Cardano, BNB to a lesser extent because it doesn't have that as much room to grow as the others. But it's not bad. Cardano, Dogecoin, Solana, Litecoin, Polkadot, Polygon, Matic is fantastic. Avalanche. I'm going to avoid Shiba Inu. And then I'd go all the way down and go to Cosmos. And that's probably it. I wouldn't touch any of the others. Like there's so many like larger cap coins, and these are the ones that have like market caps in like a couple billions, right? So like XRP is 25 billion. Cardano is like 10 billion. These are coins that like I do want exposure to, right? So you get these coins because what will happen is the same thing happens with Ethereum, right? So Ethereum will hit that point where, well, I don't want to put more money in Ethereum. Ethereum's already gone up so much. Maybe I want to wait a little bit, right? So you've already gone to Bitcoin. Bitcoin sort of hit the ceiling, kind of, right? And you're like, okay, well, let me put my money into Ethereum, the next best thing, because not everyone's seen it yet, right? Same thing happens to Ethereum. So what happens? Everyone starts diverging into all these other big coins that people have forgotten about, right? Cardano, XRP, whatever. You'll see parabolic runs. Parabolic. Like if you were to look at any of the charts, every single one of them is incredible, right? Back at the last bull run. This is something to be wary about, though. Some people get attached to these coins. When these things go parabolic, these coins also go down like 80 to 90% when the bull run's over. This is a get in and get out. You watch, check the condition, and you should, the first, like, if you start seeing it correct, you need to jump out of the altcoins as soon as possible, right? You want in and out, right? Bitcoin and Ethereum are good. You let that run up. You get into these large cap altcoins, and then you have this like absurd, like, hey, everyone's made so much money. We're all stupid. Let's go buy meme coins like Ponzi or better Ponzi or whatever the hell they want to call it, right? And you just get into a situation where everyone is going crazy. But for all of this to start at the beginning, Bitcoin has got to be the trigger. So this is why, and I'm going to keep going back to it, Mara is my number one speculative bet in the stock market because it is the leader in Bitcoin mining. It, once again, I'm going to remind you guys, it correlates exactly to the price of Bitcoin, at least when it's at its high points. When it's at its low points, Mara does way worse than Bitcoin. Like I said, the cost to produce a Bitcoin, the cost to mine a Bitcoin. But this is a fantastic way to have a leveraged Bitcoin because you see, like, Bitcoin would 2x in price, but Mara would like 8x in price. So it's like a fantastic way to get almost like a leverage spot without actually being leveraged. Marcus, how's it going tonight? That's right, Aliman. Let's go. Very quick video. I got an early morning and got some business meetings downtown Toronto, so I can't be on too late. Meant to be a 15-20 minute video. Zellies is too kind. I don't see it all. But I do have a bunch of people I talk to all the time. And, in the next few months, we'll see Bitcoin. We should see Bitcoin go to like 36, 37,000. In the next 24 months, I expect to see Bitcoin with a new all-time high. Don't want to say what that is, but if I expect that, I want to be having as much money in Mara as possible, right? Paul Texaria, will I be doing more stock videos? You bet yourself I will be. So I'm going to start doing these sort of live streams so I can come on, talk about a stock for 10, 15, 20 minutes. And that way I can do multiple of them a week, right? So I will be doing ZOM, I'll be doing Nanodimensions, I'll be doing Mara, I'll be doing Mara updates, right? I will do stocks. Maybe I'll do a sort of live stream where I will do the stocks that the audience wants me to discuss. If that's something that you guys are interested in, we can sort of cover, we can do like a sort of stock market live stream where I talk about whatever stocks you guys want to talk about on top of like everything else as well. Obviously, within reason. I don't want to make this just a pump and dump channel where I talk about ticker XYZ because somebody wants to dump their bags. That's not the point. But if you want to do like fundamental analysis and sort of review things around the stock and the dynamics, more than happy to do so. Good stuff. Yeah. Thanks, Toad Father. So if there's one thing I can leave you with, because it is getting late and I've hit the 16-minute mark, I truly believe in crypto. I truly believe in Bitcoin. And I am placing a huge bet on Marathon Digital Holdings, ticker MARA. Like I said, my average cost is sitting around like $8 to $9. Like I said, may not be for you, may not be for everyone, but if you are bullish on crypto and you want to have a really, or if you want to have a sort of really faster way to make money with Bitcoin, Mara is fantastic because if Mara goes up, if Bitcoin goes up, Mara is like parabolic. It's like it's not a 1-for-1 increase, which is like fantastic, right? So it's a bit like leverage, but it's not. Like I said, not financial advice. No one can predict the future. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. And like I said, I also have swing shares. So like when Mara goes down, I buy a bunch and then I can sell that up when it goes up. And I've been sort of doing that up and down. And like if I don't know, Andy Terps is probably asleep, but for the last like few months, we've been messaging each other daily. Look at all the free money we made off Mara. Anyways, thanks, Zelis. I'm glad to hear you have a complex basket. I think I might have seen that. I think I might have seen Mara in your portfolio. I don't remember. Anyways, that's it for this video. If you like the video, make sure you share with a friend. Make sure you hit the like button and also make sure you subscribe and comment below and say you like the video because that'll make me to make more of them. Until next time, have a good night, guys.